Ja, vi kan köra igång nu. Welcome to the second race here at Djursland and the first race of the day. It's a modest temperature, the Djursland here in Jylland. And we had an exciting race yesterday which decided the grid order for this race. In the end, it was Andreas Skattebo who took the longest straw and will be starting on pole position. It's Oskar Melstig alongside him after a last lap decision. He will stay ahead of Lionel Score in P3. Gustav Berglund P4 after the recovery drive in the early incident in turn 1. Behind them we have Fredrik Lindholm P5 after looking promising for top 3 but not quite enough. Albin Gustafsson recovering well from last position to P6 after his contact with Gustav Berglund. William Eriksson P7 and then Pete Norbeck P8 after a late spin. P9 Max Stjärnelund, P10 Enzo Collin. Mikael Karpers was dropped down to P13, so it's Devon Grabko in P11, and then I think what is Johan Wahl on P12. Mikael Karpers then P13, Linus Stjärnelund P14 after his late race spin. Selin Hessman P15 after a gearbox failure. William Isaksson back on the grid today after his upside down flipping in qualifying in P16, and then Jonathan Elander also back on the grid for this race with a new engine. So all 17 cars lining up on the grid. They just did their first warm-up lap and they have another half to go before it's time to line up and go racing. As they now pass me by down the start finish straight. Well, only finish straight in this series, this track. Start straight is actually the other straight on the back side, but this is the finish straight. William Isaksson also, I know, with new tires, so we'll have to scrub those in well enough for the start, and I saw him doing so just now. Linus Stjärnelund at the back. Key factor yesterday was rear tires getting very hot towards the end on basically all cars. Lack of testing beforehand meant the pressures were a bit everywhere for everyone, I figure. So they have rectified that over the night and would like to have a better time around today. One person I know that was hampers was Fredrik Lindholm. I was talking to him and he said the last 5 laps were not the best experience of his life grip-wise. As they now wait for the first few cars to line up on the start straight. And yeah. So it's time for Gustav Berglund to line up. He's not in first, but it's going to be P4. Here in Denmark, they don't do a lineup beforehand, so they have to line it up on circuit. Different to what we're used to in Sweden, but works as well. It just takes a bit of longer time when you're on the lineup procedure. So we have Andreas Skattebo rolling up to his pole position. And here we have final few cars coming up to the grid. So it's going to be difficult for those guys who were first to the grid to have some heat in the tires once the start gets going. It's going to cool down now, waiting for everyone else to line up. And that certainly is stressful, but also hampering come first lap. A few laps in, it's going to be equal again, but first few laps will be more difficult for those drivers. So we see some drivers opting to rev up a bit to see if the engine's still there, and indeed it was. So final drivers now lining up for real this time. So Andreas Skattebo on pole with Oskar Melstig alongside Lionel Score P3, Gustav Berglund P4, Fredrik Lindholm P5. There we have the top 5. One to watch this weekend, this race, of course, is Linus Stjärnelund after his spin. Was actually in P2 at the time, and is now looking to go from P14 to P1, he told me yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see what he can be. I'm certain he will be in the top 5 just a few laps from now, but at the moment, starting from P14, also a bit of shift in focus from him. He's been dead set on beating Andreas in the overall championship, but after race 3 mishap in Kinnekulle and race 1 here, he's decided to opt for junior. But here we have the lights. Lights are on. It's a jump start. It's a jump start from both Fredrik Lindholm and Pete Norberg. It's a new start, I think. Well, there the start goes. I don't know what is. It's a shambles. It's 2 drivers that opted to go beforehand, and it's Fredrik Lindholm out front. That's a slam dunk penalty, unfortunately for him, but he's in them for the moment. He's in the lead. And Andreas Gattebo now effective P1, but P2 at the moment, pointing towards the front. I don't know what happened, but it was multiple drivers that got a little bit of a stutter, so maybe unclear in the start procedure. But for the moment, Fredrik Lindholm in first at least. There we have Andreas Gattebo P2, Oskar Melstig behind him. As they now go down into turn 2 and exiting from it. Time to go into P3. It's a bit of smoke. I can't see who it is. It looked like lockup smoke and not dirt smoke. But on the back straight, they come again and they're going slowly. So it's a red flag. It's a red flag. I guess it was for the start. That was something certainly went wrong in the procedure. So clock is stopped. We're gonna have one last lap of total racing, but they opting to restart the race. And lining up once again. And it will take a bit of longer time. But he rejoins soon enough. He took the shortcut and will be back to racing soon. So I have to speak to the drivers who sort of got a bit jittery and jumped it at first after the race, but for the moment we'll have to assume it was just driver errors. But as they line up once again now, this time it should go a bit faster. Johan Varland now lining up to his spot. And they're going to push back. I think that is William Isaksson. Or are they? No. It's a new start. 15-second boards out. Cars revving up. It's time to go racing once again. Lights out and away we go. And this time around, it's a clean start for everyone. Fredrik Lindholm down the inside of Gustav Berglund. Pete Norberg opting for the outside on Albin Gustafsson, but not quite enough. Andreas Gattebo has held his lead in P1, and then Oskar Melstig, Lionel Skår, side by side. No, Fredrik Lindholm ahead of Gustav Berglund, and then Albin Gustafsson behind them. Pete Norberg, and then followed by William Eriksson. And it's smoke! Smoke from, what is that? Max Stjärnelund, I think. So now Cecilia Hessman also. A lot of smoke. So we'll have to wait and see when they come back. But I think that was Max or Linus Stjärnelund. It's a lot of smoke. It's a lot. It's even more smoke. Is it a boiling engine? Perhaps. We'll have to wait and see. Andreas Gattebo, Oskar Melstig, Lionel Skår. I think we're missing. Andreas Gattebo has pulled out ahead. Oskar Melstig, then Lionel Skår, Fredrik Lindholm, Albin Gustafsson down inside, Gustav Berglund. He also looks a bit on Fredrik Lindholm, but decides better of it. And then we see more smoke. William Isaksson has made a lot of positions up early on. He's up into P10 already. And then he's just overtaken Enzo Collin. Then Jonathan Nylander, Johan Wahlamp, Mikael Karpers. And there we have it. It's Stjärnelund. He's going into the pits now. I'll get back to you on the number. Tell you who it is. Devin Grabko also pitting in. Missed that incident, unfortunately. To see them now in the pits. It's Linus Stjärnelund. He's lost his front fender. That would explain the smoke. Stjärnelund then out of the race. And suddenly, from looking clear cut, the championship in the junior championship is wide open. It's likely going to be another high points haul for Oskar Melstig, but nothing from Linus Stjärnelund. And that means that Oskar is going to catch up and have a shot at it come Falkenberg. But for the moment, it's Andreas Skattebo in the lead, and then Oskar Melstig, Lionel Skår, Fredrik Lindholm, Albin Gustafsson, Gustav Berglund. Then they disappear into the first corner. We have them. Gustav Berglund, behind them. Pete Norbeck. Up the hill in turn 2 again. Going into turn 3 now. How do they stand? It's still Andreas, but then Lionel Skår on the inside of Oskar Melstig in turn 3. That's an audacious move. And he's passed Lionel Skår up into second. And then Fredrik Lindholm looking at Oskar Melstig. Huge for the championship. Oskar needs to get good points haul here if you want to have a shot at the championship overall in the junior. Fredrik Lindholm now sizing up Oskar Melstig. It's the wrong direction for Oskar. William Eriksson now, Hunter Diamond, Pete Norbeck, and then William Isaksson. Then we have Max Stjärnelund, Jonathan Nylander, Enzo Collin, Johan Wahlamp, Mikael Karpers. Down into turn 1 again. Up the hill, down into turn 2. It's still Andreas, but Lionel is catching up. And at the same time, I see 2 cars side by side. It should be Oskar and Fredrik, and I think it was, but Oskar stays ahead. Down into turn 3, up we go again. Oskar is ahead still from Fredrik, but Fredrik is right behind looking for the move. I know he's also hunting the 3rd place in the junior championship. He wants that podium overall. And then it's a close pack now. Lionel has caught right up to Andreas Skattebo, who makes a bit of a mistake going into turn 4. Rejoining now on the finish straight. Pete Norbeck right behind William Eriksson behind that. Gustav Berglund now shaping for a move on Albin Gustafsson, I think. And then William Eriksson fending off Jonathan Nylander. I think I heard Linus Stjärnelund rejoining on track. He might want to he's going to try to get some points at least. Or was that Devin Grabko? As we wait for them, in turn 3 they come. Turn 3 they come here now. Andreas Skattebo, Lionel Skår behind, Oskar Melstig, Fredrik Lindholm. Albin Gustafsson has dropped back. Maybe Gustav Berglund made a bit of an attempt in turn 1 or 2. Now outside move, Lionel Skår down the back straight. Can he do anything about it? Andreas Skattebo leading. Still side by side going into turn 4. Late break. Who will break the latest? It seems to be Andreas. They're still side by side. Rejoining the finish straight. Lionel on the outside. Andreas on the inside. This will turn into the inside, but Lionel has to stop in behind. And now Oskar has a move chance as well. Fredrik Lindholm. And then something has happened. Gustav Berglund and Albin Gustafsson in the last corner. Albin Gustafsson rejoining now. Once again, contact between the pair, I think. Go into turn 2. It's still Andreas ahead. Lionel looking for the move. Oskar didn't do anything about Lionel in turn 1. And exit turn 2. It's still Andreas ahead, but now Fredrik is very close to Oskar Melstig. Can he do anything about him? I saw also that Pete Norbeck was up to P5 after that incident between Albin Gustafsson and Berglund, I think. Now Fredrik Lindholm right behind Oskar Melstig on the back straight. Is this the time around where we'll make a move? Right behind, Lionel is going to try the outside once again on Andreas Skattebo. Can he do anything about it this time? He's further back this time, but that might turn into a switchback. He hangs around the outside, but it's not quite enough. Andreas slots in ahead. But then Lionel gets a run. Can he do anything about it? Yes, he gets a very good run. He's already looking on the outside into turn 1. Fredrik couldn't do anything about Oscar Melstig. Pete still holding on P5 from William Eriksson. But he has to look carefully behind. But William Eriksson is shaping up for a move behind. And then it's Gustav Berglund, Jonathan Nylander, William Isaksson, Max Stjärnelund, Enzo Collin. To the turn 2 now against this 4-pack now. Who's gonna be the ones deciding who's gonna win this race? At the moment, Andreas looking for it. I think Verdict made a mistake in turn 3 because he's lost out a lot. But Lionel now, once again on the outside, will he work this time around? He hangs it around, but no, it's not quite enough. Andreas slots in ahead once again. But Lionel close every lap. And there we see Gustav Berglund going past Pete Norbeck and William Eriksson, in turn 4. They're side by side going the back straight now. William Eriksson, Pete Norbeck, William slots in behind Pete. There went Jonathan Nylander, William Isaksson, Enzo Collin. William Isaksson making a great recovery from his flip yesterday. Jonathan Nylander as well. Side by side, Pete Norbeck and Gustav Berglund, turn 1. I think Pete on the inside. We'll see now as they come into turn 2. Oh, waiting for them to reappear in turn 3. Into our view, it's Andreas and then Lionel, Oscar, Fredrik, we're still in the top 4. But we'll see now. On the battle behind for P5. They're reappearing now into view. Can I see them? Yes, it's Gustav Berglund ahead. And then it's Pete Norbeck still, William Eriksson. Lionel didn't make a move this time around on Andreas on the outside. He's opting to stay behind and get the run. Oscar Melstig though, really close behind, so he has to be careful in turn 1 so he doesn't lose out instead of gaining. Lionel looking for the inside, can't find it. And now William Eriksson has gotten past Pete Norbeck. Jonathan Nylander catching up to the top 5 battle as well, and William Isaksson too. Then we have Albin Gustafsson recovering and Enzo Collin. As we see. And the other Stjärnelund peeling into the pit, I think that is Max. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, Max Stjärnelund also in the pits. Don't know what happened. I can't hear anything from his engine. Turn 3 once again. It's Andreas. Then Lionel. Then we have Oscar. Fredrik has dropped back. Not quite enough to pace to catch up and keep up. Lionel outside, move on Andreas Gattebo. This time he has a bigger overlap. Will this time be enough? He's still there, but Andreas gets the better of him. But now Lionel has a run. He's on the outside, but he's not seen behind again. Pete Norbeck now being overtaken almost by Jonathan Nylander, but Nylander stays behind. William Isaksson, Albin Gustafsson, Enzo Collin, Mikael Karpers, Johan Wahlland, Devon Grabko. Devon Grabko recovering well after his pit stop. We see them now in turn 2, waiting to go and down into turn 3 very soon, where we'll know more about who's where. Anyway, Andreas, it's Lionel, Oscar, and then Fredrik has catch up a bit again. It's Andreas, still fending off. It's Lionel, outside move. This time he has a very good run. He's overlapping him completely on the outside. Can he keep it around the outside? He's still there, he's still there. He's still there. And he has to overlap now. Now we can make a move into turn 1. He's passed Andreas already. And then Oscar's looking for it as well. Into turn 1. It looked like Lionel is the new leader. As we see them going up the hill. Andreas on the outside, Andreas giving in. Lionel is the new leader now. Rejoining up into turn 2 hill. It's Oscar looking on the outside of Andreas, but not quite enough. Fredrik catching up again. And we see Devon Grabko and Johan Wahlland has caught up to Mikael Karpers. As we see Stina Hessman struggling, the leaders will likely catch her before the end of the race. Lionel score now ahead, and then Andreas Gattebo defending inside. Lionel does. And Andreas sends in the dummy. He faked to the outside, went to the inside. But that means Lionel has the outside coming out of the corner. And Lionel stays ahead. Oscar now shaping for a move on Andreas Gattebo. And then Fredrik Lindholm right behind them. Gustav Berglund has pulled out away from William Eriksson and Pete Norbeck. Pete Norbeck still fending off Jonathan Lander. Now William Isaksson is getting passed by Albin Gustafsson. He slots in behind. And then Enzo Collin. Then Johan Valand letting Devon Grab go by. Looks like an issue for Mikael Karpers as well. He's dropping a lot of pace. Yeah, he's going slowly. Very slowly. I think he's trying to cool down the ending. Might have overheated a bit. He did yesterday. And Lionel has pulled out a bit ahead. Andreas won't be able to make a move this time around, but Oscar is certainly going to look at Andreas. He goes very wide to get a switch back on Andreas. Andreas has a bit of a run on Lionel once again. But he tries it, but Lionel blocks him off. Yes, Dennis Fredrik Lindholm, then Gustav Berglund, William Eriksson. Pete Norbeck seems to have weathered the storm regarding Jonathan Lander behind. He's getting back into the groove and is pulling away a bit. Then Devon Grabko defending from Johan Varland into turn 4. He managed to do so. Johan braking late, shaking a bit in the car when he's braking. As we wait for them to come down to turn 3 once again. There we have them. Lionel score going wide, and it's Andreas, then it's Oscar. Gap, and then Fredrik. Another gap, and then Gustav Berglund. Lionel, Andreas, Oscar, the top 3 now, deciding who's gonna win this. And Lionel locks up, he goes wide, and he opens the door for Andreas, and Andreas back into the lead. Crucial mistake from Lionel in the final corner, and he lets by Andreas. Selina Hessman now getting the blue flag for the leaders, staying out of the way. Yes, she does, clean and nice, as you like. But now, there's a bit of a gap between Lionel. Oh, we see damage on the car. It's a fender scraping in. I couldn't quite catch who that was. It might actually be Jonathan Lander with damage. As we see now, Mikael Karpers also going to be lapped soon. He's going slowly. Lionel score, trying to rectify his mistake from last lap. Andreas then defending. Is that going to be the move and the mistake that decides this race? It's Andreas, Lionel, Oscar, and then Fredrik. Then Gustav Berglund. Mikael Karpers lets him by, but it's an overlap from Lionel's score after the lapping of Mikael Karpers. And he's on the inside. Can he make the move stick? We see as they rejoin up into turn 2. Who is ahead? It looks like Lionel's score is ahead. Yes, he is. So, lapping proving crucial for the lead battle this race. And there's Andreas Kattebo, Oscar Mellstig, and then Fredrik Lindholm. You see now, Jonathan Lander boxing. He was the one with damage, unfortunately. Lionel score, Andreas Kattebo, Oscar Mellstig. Then Fredrik Lindholm with a bit of a gap in front of them. Outside move from Andreas Kattebo, locks up. Lionel score, Andreas Kattebo now. Oscar Mellstig gonna try an outside move. No, stays behind. Looks for a mistake instead. Then they have to focus on each other, meaning Lionel can put up a bit of a gap. And he does. Andreas Kattebo has to fend them off. And you can see the gap tiny bit eking out for Lionel score in front. Gunning for his second ever Aquila victory. So now coming to turn 3 again, it's Lionel, Andreas, Oscar, and then Fredrik Lindholm. Lionel now with a comfortable gap on the back straight. Andreas won't be able to do anything about that gap. Or is he? He's going to try it at least. Outside maneuver. Not enough. Lionel stays ahead. Lionel now has losing a bit of rear grip I saw on the exit. That is Oscar Mellstig behind them. Those two. Fredrik Lindholm, Gustav Berglund, William Eriksson. Albin Gustafsson, Pete Norbeck, William Isaksson. Enzo Collin. Pete Norbeck spinning. And then William just about managed to avoid him. Pete Nordbeck with a spin in the final corner. It looked like under his own steam, and then Enzo Collini managed to catch up to him as a result. The engine sounded a bit weird passing by. Might have been a technical issue, but certainly looked driver mistake-ish. Back straight again, top three. Are they gonna do anything about it this time around? Is Andreas gonna hedge his bet on an outside move once again? He is. But Lionel locks up! Once again, rear lock up. Mistake proving crucial, but he's still got an overlap with Andreas Kettemo. They're side by side on the finish straight. He wins just about ahead of Andreas, and then Oscar, Fredrik Lindholm, Gustav Berglund, William Eriksson, and then we have Albin Gustafsson, Silla Hessman finishing a lap behind, and then William Isaksson, great recovery. And then Enzo Collin managed to get by Pete Nordbeck on the final lap in the final corner. So it's Enzo Collin ahead of Pete Nordbeck, and then Devon Grabko, it looks like. No, he's a lap behind, of course. So it's Joran Varland, but Devon Grabko ahead on track. Lap behind. And then Mikael Karpers, also a full lap behind. So not the race he would have wanted. Not the race Linus Stjärnelund would have wanted. He got damaged early on and had to retire. So double DNF while Oscar gets great points haul for him. So a championship is definitely back on. And now we see them taking the checker flag once again. Lionel taking the checker flag twice because he was so focused on taking the lead again. So he's gonna come back in, but for now, thank you for joining us. And we'll be back in just about an hour. It's a very short layover, so don't go too far. Get your snacks and your drinks ready because we're about to round out this weekend in just about an hour. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.